least in part, clean this up as decently as possible. But I mean, the concern's now going to be the structural integrity of this building. They pulled the car out, seemed like that went okay. But look at the crack going all the way up the side of that building. This is the Aldi in Lakewood on 117th Street. That's a pretty large crack, and again, potentially ruining some of the integrity of that building here as they are slowly removing some of the bricks off the front and the side of the car. Again,
just get some more information from the crews at the scene here as you've seen this car getting pulled out, but I was able to get some information on the driver of this vehicle. Crews here at the scene tell me that the driver is an older gentleman who went home with his son after the crash. Now, they're not exactly sure what led up to this crash or what caused the crash, but according to the officials here, the security camera footage from this Aldi shows him backing out of the spot and then accelerating right over that ridge at the front of the spot into the wall. So again, that security camera footage from the Aldi shows him backing out of the spot and then accelerating into the wall. Again, not really sure what happened to lead up to that acceleration into the wall. They tell me that it was an older gentleman. Again, he went home with his son, but that is what the security camera footage says, and that's according to officials here at the scene. Again, one person was transported to a hospital. That person was inside the Aldi who was transported to the hospital, nearby hospital. But that is the latest what I was able to glean from some of the folks working here at the scene.
That's crazy. So the security footage showed that pretty clearly. You said here, was there anything else that they got from it other than the moment that the crash happened? Did they say that anything was out of the ordinary leading up to it?
Not that they mentioned. Again, they didn't say anything was out of the ordinary. They also didn't say that they have any leads, or at least they didn't give me any clues as to if they know what happened between that gentleman backing out of that spot and then accelerating into the wall. But that's what the security footage shows, according to the security camera footage from this Aldi.
All right, Colton Molesky, thanks so much. We're going to stay up for a little bit longer here. Again, if you find anything else, let us know. We'll pull up now the second shot that we have here from the scene there. Again, this is a Chrysler that crashed into the Aldi in Lakewood. As you saw there, Colton Molesky is doing some great work getting this information for us. And hearing from him and hearing from the officials on the security camera footage potentially showing what happened here. So as Colton said, according to the security footage, it was an older gentleman, got into the car, backed up, and then accelerated really fast forward. You would assume jumping, I'm going to pull off this lower here. You would assume basically jumping that curb, which ultimately led, because you can see there's a, 2 levels of bricks on the bottom portion of the building. Those were still there before they pulled the car out. So basically lurched forward and jumped into that building, ultimately causing the damage that we've seen. Again, pulling up multiple shots here. We have multiple crews that are on the scene right now. And again, our Colton Molesky doing some fantastic work on the ground trying to give us the latest information. As we continue to learn more about what happened here, a pretty insane scene out of Lakewood. An older gentleman in a Chrysler backing out of his handicapped parking spot, then lurching forward, making essentially a crater into the side of that Aldi. And you can see now the car removal service there, just trying to make this as easy as possible for them as they try and get the car out of there. The Aldi has been evacuated, as Colton had said earlier. One person was taken to the hospital. We were unsure who that was at first. We now know that person was inside the Aldi at the time. The driver, according to what Colton has learned, was taken away or driven away by his son from the scene, and that's it. That's the latest that we know, at least about that person. But you can see the damage that was done. Look at that windshield. Honestly, fortunate with the damage that they caused to that Aldi, because that's what the car looks like, and that's the massive hole into the side of the Aldi again in Lakewood. So we're still waiting to learn more and potentially to get access to that security footage that officers talked to our Colton Molesky about. Yep, some good old duct tape to try and keep that front bumper together. And then again, showing you what it looks like right now inside that Aldi. So we're going to keep our shot up here for a little bit longer to give you a look at the damage that was caused after a Chrysler hopped what's basically like one of those parking curbs and created a massive hole into the side of an Aldi in Lakewood. Tow crews currently working to get rid of that Chrysler. Seems like that repair didn't necessarily work. Or maybe that was the intention. Yeah, that was supposed to be the plan. But again, one person that was inside the Aldi at the time was injured in this. They were taken to Metro. The driver of this Chrysler was driven away by their son following the crash. So by the time we got there, none of them were there at the time. This happening again around 1 o'clock, so we're now an hour and a half into this situation, into this investigation as well. You see some medics on scene as they start to pull away there. And again, I'll pull up multiple shots there. So yeah, I mean, it looks like a pretty traditional Aldi, and then you have a giant hole in the side of it, which is not part of the design. But the store again has been evacuated, and you can see there, it seems to be some fire crews inside, maybe talking to workers, talking to people from there. The structural integrity of the building is now going to become a massive part of this. Yeah, I think that probably shows the best of the actual damage done to that wall. Couldn't necessarily see exactly what was inside there. Seemed like some sort of a package area, but yeah, you can see pretty clearly that that wall is very much so in disarray. I'm just gonna see if, hey Colton, you still got me? See if Colton still has me. Hey Colton, you still got me? Don't think he does anymore. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll probably wrap up our coverage here, as it seems that the crews have been.
Jeff, let me jump right in here really quick, because we have a gentleman here. Well, come on over here. We have a gentleman here who was actually outside this Aldi when this crash happened. So take me through a little bit. You're outside. You're near this parking lot. Take me through watching this happen.
Well, there was an elderly male, you know, and his son, and it looked like he backed up for a little bit and then floored it right into the building, and it was a big, you know, the big boom and stuff, like crash.
Not something you expect to see on the outside of an Aldi. Is I just describe when it hits. I mean, I'm sure there's dust flying up, there's people running all over the place.
Yes, and everybody going crazy, and it's like something you see out of the movies.
You mentioned you were talking with one gentleman who was inside the store. What did he have to say?
He said he was getting he was by the bread area, and he was getting, when the building hit, or the car hit into the building, he was covered in bagels and white, like, you know, like powder, like, you know, like the dust and stuff. Powder, I don't know, I think it was flour.
Maybe that chalk from the
flour and stuff, he said. But yeah, I don't know where he went, but he disappeared. But I asked him if he was okay. He was fine.
And how surprised were you just seeing this unfold?
I was very surprised. It's something you don't see in Lakewood. It's usually quiet.
And you were on the scanners too, so you knew that there was going to be quite a few people showing up to the scene.
And nobody believed me. They're coming. No, they're not. It sure did. They pulled up.
Plenty of crews here. Well, thank you so much. And there's the word from somebody who was here. Again, just to recap what we know, this Aldi evacuated. One person on the inside taken to an area, Metro Health, with injuries. The driver of the car, an elderly gentleman. From officials, we were told that he was taken home by his son. Again, according to witness testimony you just heard, as well as the security camera footage from officials, this car backs out of that spot and then hits the accelerator right into the wall, creating that hole there. That's what we know right now.
Colton, man, thank you so much. Great work out there and great job getting that guy. We're going to let you get ready for the 3 o'clock news now. And we will, as Colton recapped, we'll recap one more time. And then you will see Colton again coming up on 19 News starting at 3 o'clock. So, what we know. an older gentleman was at that Aldi, got into his car, reversed, then accelerated right away into that spot right there near that handicap spot at the Aldi in Lakewood. You heard from somebody that was on the scene there. He said he asked the guy if he was okay. He said he was. And then officials say that that older gentleman was picked up by his son and driven away. Somebody inside the Aldi was hurt from this. Ultimately, they were taken to Metro, and we do not know their condition as of right now. This happening at about 1 o'clock today. One injured shopper, as I had said. Now the questions will be the structural integrity of this Aldi. That part of the building right there. I mean, that wall is in rough shape. You can see it's caved in toward the top of it where it connects to the roof. You can see, obviously, the massive hole, but the parts around it, not really in the greatest shape. We saw that car removed pretty much without incident, but the damage that has been done, we do not know. That Aldi has been evacuated. We saw fire crews inside of the Aldi, clearly checking it out, making sure everything was okay. Colton will have much more for us, and of course the latest tonight on 19 News, starting at 3 o'clock. All right, that's going to wrap up our digital coverage here. We will, as I'd said, have Colton live at 3 o'clock for 3.5 hours of nonstop news, starting at 3, going until 6:30. The latest on this and the other breaking news stories of the day. For now, I'm Jeff Sloss with 19 News. Have a great day and great night. Much more to come, both on air and online.
19 News, now streaming on Samsung Smart TV. Search for channel 1035.
Colton, really, really great work, man. Thanks so much.
This will only take a minute or two.
And then we get his footage. There's a way to upload that footage.
Well, I'd like to get that. Okay.
Flip around. Okay. You stay still. You stay still.
Oh, sorry.
Stay still. Yeah, good. Good.
Ready to go?
Yep.
All right, so I'll have you start by saying and spelling your first and last name.
William Pierce, P-E-A-R-C-E.
William, traditionally spelled?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. So describe to me what exactly happened.
An elderly male just talking to his son. I believe his son was with him, unless he was in the car trying to show him how to pull in. Because, you know, they can't, I'm not crazy, but anyway, he backed up and then floored it and then hit the brake, and I think he hit it a little too fast and right into the building.
Crazy. And you're on the outside of the building that was happening?
Yeah, I was across the street.
Wild. I mean, what happened? What unfolded in the parking lot after that?
But a bunch of madness and people going crazy.
You said you talked with a couple of people who were inside the building. Describe those conversations.
Yeah, I talked to one guy.
Yeah, right. I gotta hold these?
I got it. That's what they pay me to pay.
Sure. Where am I looking? Just at you?
Straight at me, yeah.
Okay.
And you got sunglasses on.
Perfect. Yeah.
Sir, if you wouldn't mind saying and spelling your first and last name and then your title.
Sure. First name Ryan, R-Y-A-N. Last name Fairbanks, F-A-I-R-B-A-N-K-S. I'm the fire marshal for Lakewood.
All right, sir, just lay out for us what happened here.
Sure. So this afternoon we received a call for a car into a building. We arrived on scene and found this scenario here in front of us. We assessed the patients that were on the scene. We transported one person to Metro and another to Lakewood ER. We had our city building department show up, and they determined that there was no structural hazard. So that's when we decided that with no life hazard and no one else in danger, that we would just remove the car from the building.
Right now, obviously you said 2 people taken to 2 different hospitals. How many people in total were hurt, and do you know the extent of the injuries?
I don't know the extent of the injuries. I just know that we had 2 patients.
Any idea if those were patients in the car at the time, or what do you?
They were just bystanders.
Just bystanders.
Yes.
What do we know about the actual accident itself, or crash itself?
The accident itself is under investigation by our Lakewood Police Department. The male driver was escorted home by his son.
Got it. Any idea how they're doing?
He denied transport and treatment at the scene, so he was released to his family.
They were saying he was going miles an hour. Obviously, the extent that take us through any. What you guys find from the damage?
Just from the damage that we found, the actual spot where the building was hit was between two structural columns that were not affected at all, and the steel beam that's carrying the load above it is not affected either.
Do we know, were these bystanders that were taken to the hospital, were they outside the store or were they inside the store?
They were one was inside and one was outside.
And then again, obviously, anything else that you could share for us at this time?
Just that the building has been turned over back to Aldi, and they will be repairing the damage. They'll be seeking a structural engineer's official opinion on the damage. But at this point, the store is closed, and it will remain closed until the damage has been repaired.
Got it. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Can you give us your name and your title again?
Sure. First name's Ryan, last name Fairbanks. Title is Fire Marshal, City of Lakewood.
Also, what time did you guys respond? Do you know? Sorry.
I have an approximate time of about 1:30.
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir.
All right, no problem.
Thanks. Thank you.
All right, guys.
Thank you, sir.
50. What do they need from us?
I was told that we are going live at. All I was told was that Scott texted me. You have you at just 3 and 4. Everything will probably be wrapped up for 5.
Okay.
Live at 3 or does it look live or what do they do?
They said
I just shot teasers so they have it.
It said live at 3 and 4.
Okay.
Scott said.
That, if you have a card, or you can just put that card in my. I'm going to go over to Dorncott. And Marty and I have been helping him cut grass. I did cut his grass, so I'm going to trim it. My son, so. But, all right, guys.
Yep. Alright, so I'm just gonna leave this up. If you want, you can go in the back. I'm gonna go in the front. I'm gonna fire up the laptop.